It is just after midnight in Los Angeles, June 13th, 1994. The city is still warm from the day. A quiet street in Brentwood holds its breath between passing cars. Porch lights stay on. Sprinklers click somewhere down the block. A figure moves near a sidewalk. Then another shape appears in the space between a gate and a hedge. This is how it enters the system. Not through a courtroom, not through a verdict, but through a residential street that becomes a point of gravity for an entire city. The streets are not background here. They are the system. Los Angeles in the mid-1990s is a city carrying recent memory. The 1992 unrest, the trial of officers in the Rodney King case, a police department under national scrutiny. Freeways run like arteries. Helicopters are part of the skyline. Local news moves at the speed of broadcast. People expect to see flashing lights on television before they see them outside. By early morning, police tape stretches across Bundy Drive. Uniforms move in controlled lines. Detectives step carefully between houses that will soon be named in every paper. The names enter the file first. Nicole Brown Simpson, Ronald Goldman. Their addresses, their last known movements. The calendar tightens. Friends are contacted. Family members arrive. Officers begin building a timeline that starts with phone calls and dinner plans and ends on a sidewalk. The city wakes up to headlines before it wakes up to traffic. Every day without an arrest becomes its own headline. The Los Angeles Police Department assigns its highest profile detectives. Forensic teams collect evidence, gloves, photographs, samples sealed into bags and logged into reports. The case moves quickly because the city demands it. Television trucks line the street. Microphones appear at the edges of police briefings. Information degrades as it spreads. A name emerges early. O.J. Simpson, former football star, public figure. The system now has a center that the city recognizes. The investigation does not stay inside police files. It moves into living rooms. On June 17th, an arrest warrant is issued. What follows does not happen in an interrogation room. It happens on a freeway. A white Ford Bronco moves through traffic. Police cars follow at a distance. Helicopters track from above. The city watches itself on television. Highways slow. People pull over. Office buildings turn on break room screens. Being seen feels like safety, even when it isn't. The pursuit ends at a house in Rockingham. Officers surround the property. Negotiators speak. Hours pass. By evening, O.J. Simpson is taken into custody. The case shifts from street to courtroom. Los Angeles Superior Court becomes the new center of movement. Judges, attorneys, security. The building fills with press and public. The trial begins in January 1995. The calendar becomes the structure. Day after day, witness after witness. The prosecution presents forensic evidence, blood samples, DNA analysis. The defense challenges the handling of that evidence, collection methods, chain of custody. The courtroom is not just a room, it is a broadcast. Television carries every motion, every objection, every pause. The city schedules its day around the feed. Jurors enter through guarded doors. They are isolated from news coverage. Their role becomes a closed system inside an open one. The police department's past actions become part of the trial. Past allegations, internal records. The case expands backward in time. Detectives testify. Experts explain lab processes. Words like reasonable doubt move from legal language into everyday conversation. The verdict begins forming long before it is read. Outside the courthouse, crowds gather. Signs are held up. Voices rise and fall with each day's testimony. Los Angeles holds two reactions at once: support, skepticism. The trial becomes a measure of more than one case. The system strains under the weight of what people bring to it. By October 1995, closing arguments begin. The jury deliberates. The city waits again. On October 3rd, the verdict is read. Not guilty. The words move through the courtroom, through televisions, through offices and classrooms. The city reacts in real time. Some celebrate, some stand in silence. The legal process ends. The public conversation does not. The trial closes. The case does not. In 1997, a civil trial follows. The families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman file suit. The courtroom fills again. This time, the standard is different. The burden of proof is not the same. A jury finds O.J. Simpson liable. Damages are awarded. Another layer enters the record. The system now holds two outcomes that do not match. Los Angeles continues to change around the file. The courthouse steps empty. The television trucks move on to the next story. But the names remain. The police department archives evidence. Boxes are labeled. Shelves fill. The trial footage becomes part of media libraries. The case becomes a reference point in law schools, in journalism classes. The city keeps building. The story keeps returning. Years pass. Books are published. Documentaries produced. Each one revisits the same dates, the same streets, the same courtroom. Technology improves. DNA science advances. The evidence is discussed again. But the legal status does not change. The verdict stands. The civil judgment stands. The file remains open in the sense that people keep opening it. The law finishes its work. Memory does not. What remains known is narrow. June 12th and 13th, 1994. Bundy Drive, a freeway, a courtroom. What remains unknown is wide. The exact sequence of moments on a quiet sidewalk. The full path of each piece of evidence from ground to lab. The system records what it can verify. It does not resolve what it cannot. Los Angeles continues to move. Freeways fill every morning. Helicopters still rise over breaking news. The courthouse hears new cases. but this one stays in the background of the city's identity. The verdict lives in the record, the question lives in the culture. The names Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman remain tied to a night the city will not release. O.J. Simpson remains tied to a trial that changed how justice is seen on television. The streets where it began are quieter now. Different cars, different lights, but the system that absorbed the case still holds it. In police archives, in court transcripts, in broadcast footage stored on tapes and servers. The city outlives the moment outlives the answer. And in Los Angeles, a file marked with 2 years, 1994 and 1995, remains part of a calendar that never fully turns, in a system that continues to carry what it could decide and what it could not.